this one's wife. There was no birthday call. Hello, I'm HG Tudor. Well, it appears that things are kicking off in a transatlantic did it happen or did it not battle between the narcissist occupying Buckingham Palace and the narcissist in Monty Shit Show. As I explained in an immediate parts passim, the suggestion, as reported in the Telegraph, was that Hasno Balls gave Pa a call to wish him happy 75th birthday. Furthermore, this one's wife jumped in on the call to speak to Charles, and purportedly Archie and Lilibet made a video for them too. Based upon that reportage, I analysed those circumstances for you. But now there has been a twist. Emily Ferguson and Callum Hoare and Nathan Kay, who all write in the Daily Express, report Prince Harry did not speak to King Charles to wish him a happy 75th birthday yesterday. Exclusive. Prince Harry did not speak to his father, King Charles, to wish him a happy 75th birthday yesterday, despite the Duke briefing that he had planned to make the transatlantic call. The Daily Express understands. Well, what is going on? Is it the case that a call was made, but Charles is denying that happened? Of course, in one respect, if a call had been made and it was a private call, who would leak that information? Charles? Less likely. This one's wife? More likely. Then again, might it be that there was no call and it's an attempt by this one's wife to put such information out there as part of her usual manifestation? If I say it happened, even though it didn't, it'll come to pass. That would, of course, fit with her usual deluded modus operandi. Let's find out more about what the Express had to state. Prince Harry may have had every intention of phoning King Charles to wish him a happy 75th birthday, but it appears that a busy diary and a monarch harbouring a grudge got in the way. A well-placed source reveals that the story that Harry was going to make the call to the palace originally came from the people linked to the Sussex camp in an attempt to mop up the fallout from not being invited to the King's 75th birthday celebrations. But sources reveal that no such call took place yesterday, as Harry neglected to arrange a time that fitted with the King's very busy schedule, which included 2 royal engagements and a private birthday party. Now, there does appear to be some logic in that. He has a packed diary, it's a busy day, it's his birthday. After all, he wants to be spending some time opening his presents, not listening to ginger bollocks droning on from the other side of the Atlantic. And of course, with these things, even when it's family, they have to be fit in with all the other commitments that exist. And it isn't beyond the realms of possibility that Fantapubes, being a bit of a hopeless case, forgot or failed to ensure that the call was scheduled. News of a phone call came as a surprise. Let's just say that, the source said. There might have been a willingness there for the Sussexes to call the King on his birthday, but it certainly wasn't communicated to the other side in a timely fashion. So might it be that the Sussexes said, Harry is going to call, and then this one's wife is going to speak, and there's going to be a video provided too, but it never occurred. Sources said there was no possible moment for the alleged call to take place. The King certainly didn't take the call during the day while he was busy working, the source said. The evening was spent with his family and friends, and he didn't have a private moment all evening. Separate sources went further and said the King was aware Harry was ringing, but he refused to pick up the phone. There was no call. Every time Harry calls his father, Charles waves the phone away, they said. He does not want to hear from him until he apologises. Now, that, of course, would be an appropriate stance commensurate with the behaviour of a narcissist. You're painted black in my eyes because of all of the shit you threw around in your ridiculous book, darling boy. And therefore, you need to come on down on your knees, prostrate, kissing the floor, begging my forgiveness before I'd even contemplate taking a future call from you. And therefore, each time Harry appears on the radar, the king is reminded of his past transgressions. He remains painted black, and he's viewed as a threat to control. Accordingly, the king's narcissism causes him to dismiss him by saying, no, don't want to hear from him. And therefore, he asserts control by rejecting him, staying in a position of withdrawal. The king spent his birthday helping to launch a project to help people face food poverty, followed by a Buckingham Palace reception for nurses and midwives as the NHS is turning 75 in the same year. He spent the evening attending a lavish reception at Clarence House, where he was joined by senior members of the royal family to help him celebrate his birthday. It's not the first time that Harry has been struck down by the palace due to not giving aides enough notice. In September, the Duke was refused to stay at Windsor Castle when he returned for the Well Child Awards and to mark the first anniversary of the late Queen's passing, with aides telling him the absence of formal notice and tight schedules made the desired arrangement unfeasible. Earlier in the week, when the Duke returned for court appearances, he did not meet up with his father, who was simply told the king was too busy for a family reunion. Charles and Harry are understood to have had minimal contact for months. Relationships have been strained since the release of Harry's tell-all memoir Spare, Threat to Control, published in January, and a shitflick series, which was released a month earlier. In both, Harry levelled a number of attacks against his family. He lashed out at his father's parenting skills, Threat to Control, and accused wicked Queen Camilla of leaking stories to the press, Threat to Control to Charles, as a consequence of how Camilla is seen as an extension of Charles. The Prince and Princess of Wales rose from the firing line, with William still furious at his brother and refusing to have any contact with him. Accordingly, you can make your own mind up about what happened. On the face of it, it seems more logical that the king didn't have time to take the call and that Ginger Bollocks has fucked up again with regard to his scheduling, and therefore no call took place, and commensurate with the chicanery that this one's wife invariably engages in, that she organised a press release to be sent to the Telegraph to revise history to suggest that a telephone call did take place in order to make it seem like they're being the kind ones. Once again, this one's wife's narcissism wants to portray to the outside world that she and Ginger Bollocks are the ones that are hard done to by the royal family, that they are the ones that are being the baddies, and that they are being amenable, and that they're being friendly, and that they're being fair. Of course, you see, if they'd released something saying, well, we tried to call but it didn't happen, that doesn't have the same impact, and therefore they would prefer to tell a lie, namely, oh, Harry called, and then Harry's wife spoke to the king, and then the kids provided this video, etc. Look at us, aren't we lovely? Thus facade duly managed, control asserted, and fuel received. Of course, it is now suggested that didn't actually occur. And once again, the behaviour of this one's wife becomes called into question, and not shortly after trying to influence people with this, there is a stern rebuttal. It would be unusual if the king were to suggest that there was no phone call when there actually was. Instead, there'd be nothing said about it. Therefore, for there to be sources suggesting that there was no phone call tends to support that there wasn't. And once again, this one's wife is engaging in the practice of trying to make things manifest when they just simply will not. All part of the deluded mind that she has. I'm HG Tudor. Thank you for listening.